thanking two people who 2 weeks ago, we hadn't even started organising this, but they're two brilliant people. I've forgotten their names though. What's your name? Daria, isn't it? You all know her name, don't you? Daria. Daria helped last year as a volunteer for Decibels. Can't thank you enough, in fact, for what you've done, bringing people together and at short notice. And she does all kinds. And also, this young lady here.
Not too young.
She said, I'm not so young. Ellie, sorry.
It's okay.
And your other name is Tanta. Yeah.
Name.
Very international, both of these women, and also they get things done. I hope you don't end up, though, being the Prime Minister. I know you'd do a better job than probably David Cameron, but anyway, thanks very much. I had to get that in to begin with, because both of you, to be honest, I wouldn't have been able to do this in 2 weeks, to get people together, all the programme and everything. So thank you very much indeed. You'll notice that I will do a little bit of sign language. I gave a talk last week. How many listened to a little bit of what I talked about last week from this group? Were the Chinese students, teachers? I told them last week the sign for China in sign language is that, but it's military. And we changed it. We had a revolution. And the new sign for China now is wise, clever. Wise, clever, fun. And all the Chinese teachers of English, they agreed that the future would be one of wisdom and being wise and clever. Lovely that you're actually here. Anyway, it's lovely that all of you are here. I'm just going to say a few words because my sign name in the deaf world is Big Mouth, talking too much. But I won't, because there's lots of dancing that's going to take place, and oh God, I've got to read out a whole list of things which are quite outside of my vocabulary, but will you help me, Diane? I don't speak Polish, I don't speak Iranian, I don't speak Mandarin, I wish I could, all those languages, but thank you, for contributing, and Daria will pick me up if I say the wrong names in a moment. Before you do, Helen, can I go back, please? Thank you. Enabling through sound, music, arts, performance, and technology. Well, you can't get more than that to do with the creative arts, but the really good piece of news I want to tell you is a boy I used to teach at the Oratory School who's now become Lord Michael Berkeley of Knighton, CBE, who is do you listen to Private Passions on a Sunday morning? He introduces it, but he's a composer, musician, but he's agreed to be our honorary president. And I think it's really great that you get someone like that who is so focused. He was the chair of the Royal Opera Company and also the chair of the Royal Ballet Company. I can't see him, though, dancing as a ballet dancer. When he was at the Oratory, he had difficulty even just standing up because he was always playing the piano. Anyway, that's what it's about. My name's Ken Carter. That's my email address. Next one, Helen. The lovely thing about being at the university, at the Institute of Education, I'm quite separate. But I'm linked in now to the Theatre, Arts, Education and Deaf Studies. If we'd have had a little bit more time, some of them would have come here to do a drama performance, but it's getting towards the end of term at the moment, and I think there have been a few little difficulties, but there's some brilliant deaf and hearing actors actually on the campus at London Road, and we want to sort of work with them into the future. These are just two of the students that do all kinds of things. Helen and I went along to I thought it was going to be like an enjoyable evening, like you've come today for an enjoyable time. It was about domestic violence. And Helen and I, we kept looking at each other, and it was so powerful, and it just shows what actors, really, really good actors, and there was nothing spoken at all. It was pure mime, but the way they put across things, So that's the kind of relationship that we're linking up with lots of other partners. Okay, Helen. We did Sana can't be here, but one of our really talented musicians, will you believe it? She's profoundly deaf. It's called Sana Gulumani, and Daria and Ellie know her very well, and she worked on Sign Along with Music. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here today, otherwise she would have done a session with you on that. But we've gone around to lots of schools, and the idea is, yes, it's to, rather like I'm doing now, it's speaking and signing at the same time. And it's the same with songs. To be able to make it more dramatic is a really terrific art, I think. Right, next one. These are just, we work with Circle of Sound as well. And there's a brilliant teacher called Mark, he has a Greek name, and he calls himself Mark T. And he does some wonderful work with young people with learning disabilities. And I can't believe, I went to one of the very first sessions and I thought, what's he going to do with this group? You know how sometimes, I don't know any of you are teachers, you know, you have a group at the beginning of the year. Anyway, I went back at the end. I could not believe how talented some of these young people were. They'd never really played in an orchestra. And within the time scale, he really got them thinking about drumming, thinking about sound beam, using that. So we do work with them. It's coming to an end, just a few more. There's Sana, always has a group around her working, interacting with young people and older people as well. Okay, thanks, Helen. We're trying to move towards that word academy. For the first time, how many of you have been to the Royal Academy of Music? No one. Well, I went there just recently with Sana, and we listened to a person play the piano who has autism and Asperger's, and it was absolutely brilliant. And his tutor is Professor Adam Ottleford of Roehampton University, and he's one of our vice presidents. But I was so proud of this young man. There was no music in front of him, he just played. And Adam has been coaching him and mentoring him for many, many years. And when I tried to thank him, he just looked away as though, well, yeah, it's all part of... He didn't even speak to me. But once he got in front of those keyboards, he was just brilliant. Anyway, I've already thanked these two again, but I want to thank you for coming. When you do get an opportunity later, Helen, my wife, she's the CEO of Defax, and we've had the privilege this week of having the man who invented the internet. I was talking just now to two young ladies here, and I was telling them about Vince Cerf, the man who invented the internet, and his wife, and we were chauffeuring him around, but it was a wonderful occasion, and he's the honorary president of Defax, and I got him because he wears 2 hearing aids, and his wife had a cochlear implant not so long ago, and she's been deaf all her life. We've put here coordinator Sana. If you want to come and talk to me at any time, then please do. Anyway, that's enough of me.